the Blair County Food Drive, and more testimonies of the goodness of God. All that and more coming up now on Joy in the City True Stories. Joy in the City is a program highlighting people and organizations having an impact in our city. All too often, we hear about the problems and dysfunction in our culture, but we are coming with a different approach as we take a look at the good things going on right here in our community. I'm Bethany Marshall, and you're about to see what God is doing in our city. We want to thank our program sponsors, Park Home, for the donation of furniture used in our studio, Made by Vogel for the contribution of many props in our studio, and our platinum sponsor, Harry's Construction, for their ongoing support of Joy in the City. The Blair County Food Drive, which starts tomorrow, is near and dear to the heart of Denise Stone. We had the opportunity to speak with her about this very necessary food drive.
Hi Denise, we brought you in today to discuss with us a little bit about the Blair County Food Drive. So I want to start by asking you, who actually sponsors this food drive?
So we have a number of different sponsors that help us out each year. We have For Beverage and ATS that both donate trucks to us for out at Walmart and Sam's Club, which of course Walmart and Sam's have been very gracious in donating their location for years. We also have Leitner Communications and WTAJ for publicity. Then we also have the Hollidaysburg Area School District. They have been an essential part of the food drive that I run for years. We use the Hollidaysburg Junior High cafeteria to separate all of the food. And by the time we're done separating the food, it's like a huge grocery store. So we definitely appreciate our sponsors. They have been a very, very important part in making this event a very big success.
Is it a once a year event like this year? And you can share with us the dates, but it's like right before Thanksgiving.
Yes, we hold it 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So this year our dates are Monday, November 8th through the 14th. And we will be at Walmart and Sam's Club from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. every day. And so yeah, once a year, but right before Thanksgiving so that we can get food out to all of the families and the organizations in the area that need it.
Now, on your flyer, it says you can buy things at Sam's Club or Walmart and donate them, or you can take it to the truck. So are there actually going to be people outside of Sam's and Walmart for that donation?
Yes, we actually stand outside the entire time at every entrance of both stores. And then we also have people at our truck. And so you can donate a bunch of different ways. You can either shop and pick up some extra items while you're shopping and drop them in our bins on the way out. You can pull from your pantry at home. We just ask that you please check the dates and make sure that the sell-by dates are all good. And then also, if you happen to be out shopping somewhere else, feel free to stop by and pull up. Our volunteers can even grab it from the trunk, or you can hand out the window, or you can just personally bring it over to the truck.
I saw that you actually distribute this to like 11 other food pantries, which I think is really cool.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
It's nice to be able to stock them up for the holidays. So you're basically like the hub, and then it goes out from you.
Yes, we are the foundation that gathers all of the food. And I say food, but there are a lot of the organizations that also end up needing a lot of personal items. So people end up donating a little bit of everything. And we are able to supply them enough that lasts from Thanksgiving, usually the whole way through Christmas. And some of the different organizations that we donate to are the Tiger Backpack Program, and they, of course, are filling up, oh my goodness, so many backpacks on a weekly basis. And on top of that, as far as the children's programs, we also, this year, we will be also giving to the Gloria Gates Foundation. They're an after-school program also. And they get the food and have a program where they work with the kids after school, help them with homework. They make sure they have a hot meal. And some of this stuff, it touches so many lives, not just some, all of it, every bit of it. And we also give to the Father's House, Soup Kitchen. They're giving an upswing of 1,000 to-go meals a month now. And also the Father's House makes packages up for people for the holidays, and so they'll give those away. We also are giving to St. Vincent de Paul Soup Kitchen. They are making, oh my goodness, they are making meals for hundreds of people at least 5 days a week. And so the donations are going far and wide to everybody in the Blair County area. Last year we were able to get enough food and donations that fed probably at least 10,000 meals.
Now, how did you personally get involved? Because you're like so passionate about it.
I am very passionate about it. This is near and dear to my heart. My entire family is all on board, and it's definitely an event that we look forward to every year. So a little over 19 years ago, I was at the grocery store with my kids, and there was a young lady in front of me, and as I stood there, I'm sorry, I get kind of sappy about this part, but it just touches me every single time. As I was standing there, the lady was ready to check out, and she had to keep putting things aside because they had to keep trying to take her total down to where she could afford the money to pay for the groceries. And honestly, it just hit me really hard. And there are so many people out there that are so blessed in so many ways. And honestly, I feel like I have this gift from God of being able to speak to people, being able to approach people. And some of that is what carries over into the food drive, being able to talk to people and ask them to get donations. And it started off where we were doing individual boxes for families. And over the years, my goal was to just keep feeding the masses. And it has grown and grown. And unfortunately, the numbers have grown and grown where we do need to keep feeding more people. But as long as we have all these organizations in the area to be able to help volunteer, we will keep doing this. It's an important thing, and we help so many families out there.
You know, I remember several years ago, like 20 years ago, when Katrina hit, and we had a truck down at Sam's Club, and we're filling that truck up to send it down. And I was just amazed at the participation of our community, and just people from all walks of life would drop off things. And it was amazing to watch that truck just from the back all the way to the where you could barely close it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And you know, if you ever have, you see a lot of things on social media nowadays, and there is a lot of negativity out there. But if you look a little deeper, there are so many good people out there. Right. And doing this food drive every year, I'm telling you, just standing out there for one afternoon totally restores your faith in humanity. The people are so generous. The community has been amazing. And that's why it's more of a community-based event. We have volunteers that come from 4 different universities. We have from 5 different high schools and junior highs. We have volunteers coming from churches, from nonprofit groups, family and friends. Last year I had people that were shopping, and they said, "Can we help? Are there other days you're doing this that we can come back and volunteer and help?" And I was like, absolutely, the more the merrier. And so they did. They came back and they stood out there. They actually did like 3 different shifts. It was a husband and wife, and we were so greatly appreciative of that. It's absolutely amazing.
Well, around here, when people call and they need help with different things, when it's food, we always say, food is easy. And it's because of that list that it is easy for us to send somebody somewhere for either a hot meal or a bag of groceries. But at the end of the day, it's because of people like you and the steps that you take that allow us that opportunity to say, food is easy.
I feel like just such a small part in this intricate process. The organizations that we deal with, that we donate to, they have such an amazing process set up to be able to get the food out to the people. And one of the groups that we also give to that the people don't always think about, and here I am with my Penn State shirt on, even after this week, the game's still positive about it. But the Lions Pantry, people don't think about this, but they have this usually at, I think, the majority of the universities out there. But right here in our own backyard, there are students that get help to go to college. They get the financial assistance that the families need to be able to send their kids to school. But what people don't think about is once they're at school, they need food. And the Lions Pantry, they are one of our recipients, one of the 11. But it's so important to be able to have local people understanding where their food donations are going to. And we keep everything right here in the Blair County area.
Well, I appreciate you coming in today. I thank you so much for all that you do. And just in listening to you today, I'm just so impressed and so amazed, especially with the college kids, because they kind of do go forgotten.
But yeah, they do. They do. And if anybody wants to volunteer, they can call me at Sienna's Dance Boutique, or they can stop out at the food drive and we can throw them in a slot or two. We're always welcome to new faces.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
If you know a person or organization impacting our city, we want to hear about it. You can contact us at 814-944-1948 or by email at stories@jointhecity.org.
Made by Vogel is a father and son business that produces high-quality handmade wooden products such as cutting boards, bowls, bottle stoppers, and more. You can't go wrong buying from Made by Vogel.
Today's Platinum sponsor is Harry's Construction, whose motto is, "If you can dream it, we can create it." Recently opening Harry's Construction Kitchen and Bath Center so you, the consumer, can see examples of the variety of services provided by the team at Harry's Construction. Regardless of the project size, Harry's team approaches each project as if it is his own home. Be sure to visit Harry's Construction Kitchen and Bath Center at 114 Main Street in Bellwood. You can also visit their website to see pictures of home improvement projects over the years.
Last week, we showed a few testimonies of the goodness of God in the lives of the believers from Trans4mation Church. This week, we are continuing that as a few more people share what has happened in their life.
And we could stand up here for hours and give testimony to God's goodness.
We couldn't. I'm going to preach for hours yet today.
That's good. That's right. And Stephanie's already given a few of ours. But one thing I just want to say, and I'd be remiss if I did not, about a year and a half ago, whenever the pandemic started, we're self-employed and own our own businesses, and we were shut down. And we did the 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and we thought, okay, God will sustain us through those 2 weeks. And the one service you had prayed for us, because one of our businesses is a tanning salon, and March is the beginning of our busy time of the year. March, April, May, and if we don't make our money through March, April, May, we would probably shut down. And we were closed for 3 months. But God was faithful, and that year was actually our biggest year yet. So, and that was one of your prayers that you had prayed over us, that would be our biggest year yet, and that was the start of it. And we're just trusting Him to keep that going, and so far He has, and He is faithful.
I know when God calls you to come up here, don't disobey Him. I've had lots of times that He wanted me to come up here and say something, and I sent somebody else. That man sitting right there. I've had lots of things in our family with our children, life and death situations. And I called upon Him. And He leaned down from heaven and heard me praying. And I see that evidence in my life, in my family, in this church, and everything that happened. I'm praying for Merle every day. And I prayed for him this morning. I hope I see Merle in church today. Merle's here. And I know Merle would stand up here and talk for hours. I know he sees the evidence in his life. So I'm speaking for you, Merle, and everybody.
last year and this year's been really hard for me with a lot of health issues that I've had. And I had an injured foot and wore a boot for 3 months. Then I injured my arm, and then I had my second disc in my neck herniate, and then I ended up missing a lot of church. 8 weeks after it herniated, I had to have emergency surgery because I was going to lose the use of my right arm. But there was no nerve damage. As you can see, I can use my arm. There is still other things that I'm still dealing with in pain, but I know God is faithful, and He's going to take care of all those things, and that I am healed. The second one is for my brother. Those of you that were here, we were praying for my brother Ronnie, who had COVID, was in the hospital, and it was kind of touch and go for a while. We thought that, there was a chance. I know he was even thinking about it, that he might die because his breathing was so bad. They had to keep upping the oxygen as high as they could, but he's here today, and he's fine. I mean, he's still tired and with all of that, but I know God is faithful and took care of him and brought him home.
7 years ago, I walked away from God in church, but He chased me down in the 7 years, and He restored me and healed me. And today, I'm healed, I'm whole, and every desire of my heart has been fulfilled. And I am just overflowing with the goodness of God in my life today.
I just want to give God all the praise and all the glory today. Don't ever give up on your children. God has answered my prayer so many times for Krista. And there's a situation out there right now that you see, the tragedy of hurt and pain in your family. But trust God. Trust Jesus Christ, and He will bring it to pass. Don't look at the circumstances, but keep your eyes on Jesus Christ. He's the only one that has the answer. He knows the situation, and He answered my prayer for my daughter. Don't ever, ever give up, because it's when you give up, that's when it's right there. So keep on with Jesus Christ. Amen.
I just wanted to say that in 2019, I lost my dog. So I decided to get another dog. So I went to the shelter, and they said, he has a brother. And I said, I'm old. I said, I don't want to leave my kids with 2 dogs, So I took both of them anyways, because they said they'd take them back if, it didn't work out. So here, September the 11th, 2019, I'm off work, and the dog jumped on my breast. And I thought, okay, the dog hurt my breast. So I went for a mammogram, and here, it was cancer. And so here, God took me through it, and I said, I'm not dying from it, I know it. We had the church pray for me, and I knew I wasn't dying. And I just want to thank God every day, because I have grandchildren and children that need me. And I just praise this church has been wonderful to me. And my cousin, she lives in New Jersey, and she said she had 1,000 people praying for me. And every time I came in here, I just thought, I see all those prayers going up to heaven for me. And He got me through it, and I'm cancer-free.
Recently, I was diagnosed with type 1.5 diabetes. It's roughly the same as type 1, but it's not something that you can get rid of like type 2. It took 2 doctors and many months of blood work, blood testing, and some medications. It's very rough conversations to have, but my family's been praying for me throughout the whole thing, even when I was really depressed, when I didn't want to get up in the morning, when I really just wanted to stay in bed and hide from the world. But Friday I found out I don't need an insulin pump. I don't need to do insulin injections. I'm now off my medication to monitor my diabetes. So as long as I watch what I eat, I should be able to ride it out without anything. And so my family is really my evidence. They've kept me strong and kept praying for me through all this time. So thank you guys.
So He's an on-time God. That's what He is. And it's a long story, but the short of it is I purchased a home about 4 years ago with the intent to flip it so I could get work done on the house that I actually lived in, so that I could sell that, so I could get a ranch with an attached garage because of this situation. And in the 4-year period, it took longer to get it done. That's always how it goes. And then it was sold technically 4 times. Twice we had closing dates set with 2 different buyers and 2 different lenders. Those both fell through last year. And then this year, it was getting to the point, because of my financial situation and not being able to work, that I could have lost both houses and that one to back taxes. And so we were actually gearing things a little differently, and then God sent a buyer. We closed this past Tuesday, and I'm going to tell you that He's an on-time God. He is an on-time God. He knows your need, and He will supply your need. Amen. Every single time. Amen.
A couple decades ago, my father-in-law never showed evidence that he had accepted the Lord as a Savior. And he had a heart attack. Till we got to the house, he was in a coma. But we didn't know if he had accepted the Lord. He's in the hospital. And I thought, Lord, I need a sign. I need a sign. Before you take him, if you're going to take him, I need a sign that he's going with you, Lord. Bright sunny day, driving over the bridge to the Altoona Hospital, and a rainbow shows up over the hospital. Oh, Lord, thank you. That was the sign. I didn't ask for a rainbow. It just, in my heart, that was the sign. Well, I was wrong. I get to the hospital. He's in a coma, and I'm holding his hand. He hadn't moved, nothing. I thought, Lord, I need to know. I need to know. So I was able to talk to Bill. Bill, I just need to know before you go that you're going with the Lord. If at all possible, squeeze my hand. If you're going with the Lord, you squeeze my hand. He squeezed my hand.
Amen. Amen.
He passed a short time later. My mother-in-law calls me. Says, I found some papers. Would you come over and take a look at them? I said, yeah, okay. So I went over. And this piece of paper, I open it up and I read, don't worry about me. I'm with Jesus. And I got to tell you, no one else saw those words. It was as clear as if you handed me the Bible and I was reading the verse. It said, don't worry about me, I'm with Jesus. No one else saw those words. It had something to do with some little insurance policy he had, okay? But those were the words I got to see. See, I didn't ask for 3 different things to be shown to me, but that is how good He is.
A couple weeks ago, I was contemplating, and I said, God, I really need a sign. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be in education anymore. And it was a struggle. And it was ripping my heart apart. And it wasn't 24 hours later that I got a text message from one of my parents of one of my students and said, hey, you need to check up some things on social media. And regardless, that was God's sign, just, buddy, stay put. You're where you're supposed to be. But then it was the testimony that Steph gave a couple days ago of a kindergarten student who was telling kids that they need to have Jesus. Then it was the testimony of young ladies like this who I know are hurting, but they're coming to know Jesus. God is doing a work in a generation of kids right now who are hurting, who are in pain. And it's because of people like you folks who continuously pray, people in position of leadership who continuously pray, and just all of us collectively working in the power of prayer that these young people are seeing, and they're coming to know Jesus. I could go on and on about the evidence that I'm seeing, but those are just a few things. But definitely, my 3 little miracles, along with my wife, have definitely been the miracles and the evidence in my life.
As we continue today, here are a few thoughts from our director, Troy Ferguson.
All risk and reward or stupidity? So, today's motivational thought talks about sometimes we make decisions and they're very risky. And at times it can be very rewarding, and at times you may think, well, that was stupid. Parker and I are right here at Mansion Park. How's it going back there, Parker?
Good.
Good. So we're at Mansion Park filming this because just Friday night, this past Friday night, right here in this field, the Altoona Mountain Lions played State College for the District 6 championship. At the end of the game, after Altoona comes back from a deficit, Altoona comes back at the end of the game, they score a touchdown. They're losing by 1. The safe call is the extra point. What does Coach Niedermeyer do? He goes for 2. If they don't get it, they lose the game. If they get it, they win the game. The safe bet is to go with the extra point and tie the game. Now, those of you that follow sports, you know that Coach Niedermeyer went for 2, they got it, they won the game. And the concept here is, because of that, they are looked at as heroes. Coach Niedermeyer, great call, great plan, and the reward is great. But if they missed it, everyone would have been complaining, Coach Niedermeyer, what were you thinking? You should have gone for the safe result. So today I want to talk to you about the risk.
I'm done. I can't hold it anymore.
Just another minute.
Right.
Hold up. So what we want to do here as we wrap up is to say that there are times in your life that it is safe to make a decision and it's not a risk, but then there are times that it's a major risk. And when you do that, there might be a great reward. And sometimes people say, well, that was stupid. Why would you do that? But the risk is what was valuable. So I want to, where you going with it?
I was looking at the sky.
As I wrap up, I just want to pull out Romans 8:31. It says, if God is for us, who can be against us? There are times that God puts something on our heart. And no matter how risky it might seem, it is something that we can go after, because if He is for us, who can be against us? So as we wrap up today, go after the risky situations. Sometimes you may look foolish. Sometimes people say that was stupid. But more often than not, I believe if you go after the risky situations, you will have a reward, just like Altoona. Congratulations, Coach, and have a blessed day.
Is that all?
Yeah.
If you have a personal story or testimony you'd be willing to share with our community, we'd love to chat with you about it. Please contact us at 814-944-1948 or by email at stories@jointhecity.org. That's all the time we have today. Thanks for watching Join the City True Stories. Let me encourage you to watch other episodes of people and organizations having an impact on our community on ABC 23 at 5:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. every Sunday. You can also catch us each week on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Until then, be encouraged because God is moving in our city.